Hello, my Facebook and YouTube family. How you doing today? I'm glad you came to chat with Cece. Today, we're gonna talk about different current events and things what's happening in news today. You know, it's just been a lot. First it was the pandemic, then all the protests, then police killing us, shooting us, um, people walking down the street white people walking down the street with guns and stuff and passing on by like it's a friendly day and police waving them on. It's just so much happening. So I want to recap some of the things that's in the news. I can't get to it all, but I'm going to try. And I have some special person that's going to come and chat with Cece today. So I'm going to bring her on. And I hope you all had a good week. And remember, always like, share, and comment on my post, trying to get this viewership up and share. Some things we may talk about may be a little controversial, but that's what chat with CC is, just opinion only. And before I bring my person over, gotta play you my sponsor. Okay, that's shopping at wiseguy.com. So take a look at their stuff, urban wear at its finest. So right now I'm gonna bring my guest on. Hello. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Stephanie Peoples, and I am the cousin of our lovely host, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so we're going to talk today about. Stephanie came to talk to me about the current events of today. So we're going to bring up Breonna Taylor first. Now, you heard that they finally reached a settlement.
Right.
Didn't you hear that?
Oh, yes.
Of $12 million. Now, $12 million is a lot better than I think Mike Brown's family got, because I was kind of upset about that. I think they reached $4 million. Okay, so what do you think about the $12 million? Do you think that was enough? If you don't, or do you think something else should be done?
Well, I definitely think that it is good, but at the same time, I don't think you can put any price tag on someone's life. That mother will be grieving forever, but it does help. But I still think they're seeking criminal, justice related to the officers who did do the crime with killing her. So this is just a small victory, but the biggest victory will be for the officers to get arrested criminally.
Yeah, I think so too. I think 12, I still have a feeling about that 12 million. I think 12 million is okay, but I see white people sue for spilling hot coffee in their lap, and it seems like they getting like 20 million or something like that.
Right.
Somebody looking in their hotel room. I know it was a news reporter that somebody was looking in her hotel room, and she sued, I think, the hotel, and it's not even a life lost, and she getting like 100 and something thousands or millions of dollars. I mean, I don't know, but it just seemed like to me a life is a lot. Yeah. But at the same time, that goes to show you what we're talking about. Black lives doesn't matter. So
right. And it's just everything is coming up. It has never left. I mean, racism has been very subtle in our society. It's never left. It's just the way that it has been kind of, I think this generation is really showing us, they're not going to tolerate, just any old thing and be treated any way. I'm just really proud of them in the protest and not giving up, being so resilient. I'm just really proud.
I know. And I don't know what's going on in Oregon. I mean, I know they protested for some of the some of the misjustice, but really,
Right.
frankly, I'm shocked because I didn't even know it was a lot of black people in Oregon.
Well, I have a really good friend. She is from Portland. And we
Mm-hmm.
talk about it all the time. And she just recently, I'm of course not going to put her name out because she
Yeah.
has a lawsuit going on right now,
Oh.
where she stays when she goes home. She stays in this particular Hyatt hotel every
Mm-hmm.
time, and she had guests, and they would not let her guests up, and it was a big situation. So she's suing right now, and it's pending, a monetary amount. She says that it
Mm-hmm.
is everything you see is true. They are
So,
very racist. It's black people
so
that
it's
live.
racist. So it's a lot of black people there,
Yeah.
but they
Oh yeah.
suffer a lot of discrimination, and
Correct.
is that the problem? Okay, okay. Yeah,
But
I
as
didn't
far
know.
as the percentage of black people who live there, it's not a lot, but I think it's more than what it has been in the past. Because her
Mm-hmm.
relatives, they live in Portland, but they also live in Seattle, Washington, which is very close.
Yeah.
So her daughter lives in Seattle, Washington. So,
Mm.
but
And I
she
heard Portland, Oregon is a beautiful place.
it is, when I tell you, she said it's beautiful because I was going to tell her to take me home with her because I've never been,
Mm-hmm.
but she said it's just like a postcard. It's very beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I hope, like I said, we have to keep up protests everywhere. I support them
Mm-hmm.
100%. I support the young people. I know a lot of people say, they looting and stuff. I don't know who's looting. I know Black Lives Matter is not looting, but and I don't know who's looting. But to be honest with you, right now I feel like whatever they're doing, we need change. So hey, we need to make our voices heard because
Right.
apparently sitting in the street singing "Kumbaya" haven't helped. And so we need to. I
Well,
uh, I want to bring out another thing. Did you
mm-hmm.
hear about those football players who stood on the field in unity and
Oh yes, it
they
was
got
the
booed?
Falcons, and yeah. Uh-huh.
They got booed. Now, to me, see, that's what I say about America. We want to play sports and we want to have a good time, but all these social issues. My brothers and sisters is out in the street getting shot. My children. I got boys.
Mm-hmm.
My children
Mm-hmm.
is not safe out here. Any minute they could get pulled over by a road cop because all
Right.
cops is not bad. I
Oh
always
no.
say that.
Mm-mm.
But they do have road cops out there. And
Right.
I don't know if it's the training that they're not getting, the diversity that they so scared of black people that they feel like, oh, right away they got a gun or they're gonna shoot me. I think that's a lot of it, but that's a
Well,
whole nother subject in in in,
well, I
in it in it all. But go ahead.
well, I will say this. Now, I have two brothers, and both of them
Mhm.
are police officers. So we have had many family discussions, not necessarily arguments, but we've had all different sides of the pot talking. And one of the things I asked my brother was, well, two questions was, mainly about the Blake situation. I'm like, well, why would he take his gun out and shoot him from behind? I just didn't understand that. And he was saying, you have to understand it's the laws that protect the police officers. Until the laws change, a
Mhm.
police officer, all they can say is, I felt like it was some harm to me. The law protects
Mhm.
them, and they can just shoot at random if they
Mhm.
felt like, they were done unjustly. And then it's a pride thing too. The guy was able to wrestle himself away from the police. So, oh, I'm gonna
Mhm.
get you, and bam. So it's I still say
And
we have to vote.
Stephanie, it is a pride thing, but it is so insulting. That's why I say, diversity teaching must be better taught because
Oh
is it
yeah.
more insulting that, okay, if you get insulted by a white
Mm-hmm.
person, that is
Mm-hmm.
not as bad, but this black boy, he's not gonna get the best of me. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? And,
mm-mm,
and
mm-mm.
so that goes a lot deeper than just the fact that your feelings got hurt.
Right,
That shows
right.
racism right
But
there and
you know
prejudice.
where it starts with the leader who is our president.
Yeah, but that's another
Okay, I'm not gonna get into that, but I have to say, when you're
yeah,
at a job, when everything goes down, who do they blame it on? The leader.
yeah.
It
But
starts with
definitely,
the leader.
this
A
country,
divisive leadership.
yeah,
That's all I can say.
definitely we need somebody that's going to unite. So hopefully,
Unite. We need unity, and if no, oh boy, I could go on
yeah,
and on this one because it's
yeah.
just
Well, that's why I said that's another talk for
even in the
chatting
workplace,
session.
it's very subtle. You
Mhm.
have to be careful with it, and you have to be alert so you'll know how to deal with it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so our next topic we got is Andrew Gillum.
Hmm.
Now that was a big shock.
Oh yes,
It was a big shock for a couple of reasons, and you seen the Tamron Hall
I
interview,
did.
right? Okay, for our people out there, hopefully you've seen it because I can't play the whole Tamron Hall interview, but I'm going to ask for the ones that did see it. What do you think? How did you think she conducted the interview? Did you think did you feel like, and I'm not saying she was she biased or was she too lenient, or did she ask the questions that you wouldn't necessarily want to hear? What did you think about it?
I think she was very, very nice. She was very
Mm-hmm.
respectful of him. And some people might argue that she should have been tougher, but I
Mm-hmm.
think we got a lot of information because of her tactics of the way she wanted to present it. But you could tell she was emotional about the whole interview. She was kind of a little, I'm not going to say afraid, but she was just very
Mm-hmm.
careful with it.
Yeah, and it could have been because I mean, as a woman of color and to help her out, she was
Mm,
the person that they decided to give the exclusive,
exactly. And that's
which
what I'm
was really
saying.
nice.
Hmm.
And I could see her not, because at the end she did say this is not a badgering session, which
Hmm.
he's grown, that his wife is
Hmm.
grown, so it's no need to badger anybody. It's just really just bringing the facts out there. I do agree with that. Personally, what I felt about it, I think she was being nice.
Hmm.
Even if they was my best friend, I ask a lot of questions, and
Hmm.
I want to understand, and I want to get to the nitty gritty. So for
Right.
me, if I was interviewing them, I think I would have been nice, and no judgment, but to
Right.
find out what was going really in his mind, the excuses he gave. I mean, I'm not going to say I bought them, so I just would have dug a little further with that.
Right. Especially when it came to remember the part about when she asked, well, we got to talk about Miami.
Yeah.
You know, the media and internet is going wild that this guy he met was
Mhm.
a gay escort. So, you
Well,
know, what
actually,
is that not true?
the things I read, it was two guys.
Well, see, that's another thing. Who was the other guy? So who
Yeah,
was he? Was the guy the gay escort his friend, or was the other guy his friend and brought him to the hotel? It's just all kind of,
yeah.
it's
See,
not
that's what
clear,
I'm
and
saying.
that's when she should have come out.
That's
Hmm.
the nitty gritty questions that I
Right.
think I would have asked. So I think
Get to
she
the
was being
truth so
convenient.
people can. Hmm.
But let me tell you, I'm gonna share my screen and tell you
Okay.
what she actually said. Now, remember, this is before she actually did the interview, and
Oh, okay.
she probably could only say being nice, the politically correct thing, because this is before she did the interview, and she probably didn't want them to back out. So I'm gonna
I
show it to
see.
you and let you see what. I'm just gonna play some of it. I'm gonna share my
Okay.
screen. Okay.
Stacey Abrams of Georgia and Andrew Gillum of Florida were both defeated by razor-thin margins. And for Gillum, who was seen as the biggest rising star in Florida politics in decades, the aftermath led him down a dark path, then ultimately to rehab and therapy. Tamron Hall sat down with him in his first interview since his difficult exit from the public stage, and the night, according to police reports, that he was found intoxicated on the floor of a Miami Beach hotel room. Two other men were in the room, one suspected of having overdosed.
When that photo came out, I didn't recognize the person on the floor. That was not anything more than a person being at their most vulnerable state, unconscious, having given no consent. And someone decided to use a moment where I was literally lying in my own vomit.
Joining me now is Emmy Award-winning talk show host and my friend, Tamron Hall. Tamron, it is so great to see you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And I cannot wait to see this interview. I know Andrew. He is a wonderful person. I think everyone in Florida who knew him as Tallahassee mayor knows that. But what happened was so shocking to everyone. You interviewed him. You called this interview heartbreaking. Why?
It's heartbreaking because I interviewed not only Andrew, but his wife, RJ. At one point in time, she sat along with me, revealing things that he didn't even know. Listen, you know, we call this a fall from grace, and we've seen this fall many, many times. But Andrew's story is one of the most compelling ones that I've ever heard. I'll be honest with you, Joy, we flew in the dark of the night to Florida because I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want it to be compromised. He comes to me with his full, raw, and honest story. You know me, you've known me for a decade. You know when I ask you a question, I expect an answer. And he gives me the answer that I think is respectful. And I also think that he is looking for the grace that we so often give others, but Black men don't see. So
Okay, so you see that she's saying, this was before the interview, she's saying that, you know, when he answers, he's looking for, you know, we see so many people get caught in so many uncomfortable situations these days, and what do? Apologize, and they apologize, they blame it on the drugs, they, you know, and they ask for forgiveness, you know.
Right.
So I think that's what he was doing too. Now, it sounded like Tamron Hall was saying too, he was trying to be careful, you know.
Yes.
And in other words, and this is what I say, and for you out there, this is just our opinion. We don't know any facts about this case.
That's right.
You've seen the video. He said what he said, and that's it. But like I say, it's just our opinion. Okay. She said that he's looking for the same kind of, you know, love that people get when, like, in other words, politicians say something racist or something, or they get caught with drugs or something, and the first thing they do, oh, I apologize, or, you know, I had a bad day and I got drunk and it was an accident. And people tend to forgive, but when it comes to Black men, and I'm not making an excuse for them either, because I do definitely think that it's a lot of blame on his side around here, but I do think with Black men, we tend to nail the hammer in the coffin. You know what I'm saying?
We do.
Yeah,
You know,
it's just like
sure.
thinking with dogs, you know. I'm a dog lover, and I hate that happen, but dog, you serve your time, you pay your fine, and they still want to dog you out. You got somebody like Britney Spears or something like that. They, you know, the excuse is, oh, they had a mental problem, so, you know, they went to rehab and now they okay. So it's definitely racism that's going all around, and people say, you know, you use the race card, but you have to use the race card because it's plain in your face, you know.
It sure is.
But I'm not letting them off the hook now, because, like I said, it is a lot of deceit going on now. As far as
Carolyn, he wants that same grace that he knows a white man would get. You know, we know of many people that have done many things, gone to jail. Look at Martha Stewart; she's come back even stronger.
Yeah,
but she did. Well, she did go to jail. She paid her time, and she's now even back, even stronger, like she didn't even go to jail. He just wants that same grace. But I remember the wife saying something that I think was really, really pivotal when she said that he was reckless in his behavior. So she acknowledges that, you know what, you messed up.
Yeah, she impressed me as, and I'm gonna admit, I knew he was like a you know, guy pretty high in you know, competing for the Florida, you know, governorship and all that. I knew
Democratic ticket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I knew he came up in the ranks, he was a mayor and stuff like that. But I really didn't pay him any attention, I guess, like I'm paying him now. But really, she's a very articulate woman. And when you look at her, I got a little segment on something about her. And she's very articulate. She's very poised. and you could tell
Very.
what
Mm-hmm.
the words that they was using for was very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I felt sorry for her. How did you
Mm-hmm.
feel about her having to be up there with him?
I don't know. She's a courageous woman. I don't know if I could have done it, Carol. I'm just gonna be
Yeah,
honest. I don't know. I don't think I could have I don't think I could have done all that publicly like that. They are very courageous with telling their truth and their story.
Well,
And
they had to
I
come out
just
because it was forced to come out. And see, that's to
oh,
me.
you're saying that it was gonna come out anyway. They just wanted to clear the air before it really came out. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
you know how he got caught, right? He got caught because well, let me see. Let me show you. I'm gonna pull up a picture showing you. He was found in a hotel room because they was drinking alcohol. I mean, they pulled it up on Tamron's interview.
Some people were saying it was a setup.
Okay, well, you could say it was a setup, but it was him in the picture. So
Yeah, they were saying that
either
he was
way,
set up
yeah,
because
either way, it
he's
was
holding
him.
it down that he just
Okay, let
oh
me
look
see
at that and look at the bed. Oh, I don't want to. This is a family show. Wow.
Well, no, this ain't no family show.
Look.
Okay, and that's public. That's public knowledge. So I don't
That's
have
right.
no problem
That's
showing that.
yeah. That's public knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah. So he definitely. I'm not gonna. I know what he's talking about all the blame, but he needs to take accountability. I believe in taking accountability, and they had to come out because he did mess up really bad. Me personally, if I was his wife, I would not have been on that interview, but at the same time. But at the same time, she had something to explain too. And I'll tell you why when we get a little bit more into the interview. But I feel like their whole life was a lie.
Yep.
The whole life was a lie. And she was a part of that because she even admitted, they are younger people, younger generation. So, like she said, she knew about him. He called himself gay. He said bisexual. So she knew that he was bisexual
from the beginning.
From the beginning. So, and young people, they have a different feeling about, different things. But if you went into this marriage knowing that he was a certain way, gay, bisexual, however you want to call it, you was part of that lie too.
Exactly.
And so that's why I said she needed to be there because she had something to account to. Did you notice in the Tamron Hall interview when she admitted that she told him that if she had known that this would all come out like this, she don't know if she ever would have went into the marriage.
I know, I heard that. Because if she wanted it to be a secret thing that they had agreed on behind closed doors about, his sexuality, and but that's why I say that coming out like that, him saying he's a bisexual all on television and everything, which in a way I feel like that doesn't have to do a lot with his leadership, but what he did as far as going to the hotel and all that part, yeah, I have a problem with that.
Well, now see, that's where we kind of differ because
do you feel like that his sexuality has would have a part in his leading the state of Florida if he
No, I don't have no problem with his sexuality, but what I do have a problem with, if this had came out before,
oh yes, definitely,
I would have never voted on him, and I'm glad he didn't get the position. And it's not because he's bisexual or gay. It's because he's intentionally, both of them are intentionally deceiving everybody.
I see.
And I can understand you having a covenant. We did a show. I don't know if you looked at it. The show on sex. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Okay. Well, it's similar to what I was saying about. I feel like if a man and a woman, in a relationship, whatever you agree upon, as long as y'all two consenting adults,
correct,
and it's between y'all, and it ain't hurting nobody, like you ain't raping or whatever, it ain't hurting nobody, and you consent to it, that is between y'all. Right. I think that. Okay, but when you get to a point that the only reason, okay, I can't speak for him. So, like I say, this is just my opinion. But when your whole persona, you want to go into politics. So, to me, your whole persona is a ruse. Your marriage is a shield because you know the politicians are looked better upon when they have a wife and a child and the picket fence, and really that's what they look like, you know. And to America, they had the two beautiful kids, the three beautiful kids.
But how do you think I'm still confused. How do you, I know you're saying that you felt like he was deceiving by not saying that he was bisexual. Is that what you're saying? I need to be clear.
By not living his truth. Because okay,
well, why would he need to say that?
Really,
because that was
not really bisexual, not coming out and saying he's bisexual because that's his business.
Okay.
But to marry this lady, like he's okay, apparently, because bisexual or gayness didn't make him cheat.
Okay.
That didn't make him cheat.
I got you.
He cheated because that was in him to cheat. And it was a man because...
But how do we know he cheated, though? Is it proven?
Well, I wouldn't be butt naked.
Because he's swearing that he don't even know how he got in this position because he just came to drink and he was drunk and they set him up. Well, they didn't. That's what he said he was taken advantage of, and he was in a vulnerable way. No, he said he was taken advantage of by somebody taking his picture. That's what I heard. Oh, I mean, okay.
He didn't never say they set him up and posed the camera. He didn't say that. Now, if he did, I didn't hear it. Okay. But he said that they set him up by taking his picture. You know.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't think that was a setup, though? Somebody at that hotel.
I mean, I think it was wrong for them to. I mean, especially if you fooling around or having
he was.
Somebody.
They knew he was, and they want.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that I don't know how many times he's been with these people, but I think it was bad that somebody would use you like that. But at the same time, I mean, you put yourself in that position.
Right. And he even said that he didn't. I think at the beginning of the interview, because she said, what kind of relationship did you have with this friend? It sounded like he had known him a long time and he trusted him too quick. Something to that effect.
It was 3 people, so he kind of avoided the last person.
Well, how many? Okay, I'm very confused.
I heard that it was him and
2 others.
And 2 others.
Okay.
And you know,
that's what's so person, this kind of milky. We don't know what happened. We don't know.
From what I'm understanding, I think it was another person that was kind of close to overdosing, and he was in bad shape himself. So, and it was like a party strobe light in the room. It was some Viagra.
Oh, I didn't know that was in the room now.
Yeah, I read the article.
It was
and that's
strobe light. Okay.
Yeah, well, they just named the stuff that was in the room. Ooh. And you know, he was laying in his own vomit. So, you know, and you know, like I say, he didn't deny anything. He just said that, you know, they took a picture of him in the worst way, which to me, you're not a friend or you didn't have his best interest to do that. But
that's what I'm saying. He knew who he was and he was going to leak it out.
But at the same time, I mean, me personally, I don't want a politician, and that's what I'm saying, it was deception because you live in a lie. I mean, I want somebody who's going to be truthful. I mean, we got enough politicians that's lying and living a lie right now. I don't care.
But he knew, Carolyn, he knew if he would have told the truth that he wouldn't have had a chance of being elected. He only lost.
The white politician that came out. Dennis, who's that white politician came out today?
Oh, and you know he was running for the Democrat seat. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like I say, you know, you're right.
And he had a husband.
Is a lot of times people don't accept you. You know, I just had a podcast.
And being black too. Oh,
yeah,
no.
But that don't give you an excuse to lie.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
I mean, just because I know it's like I'm black. And just because I know that I'm not going to get this job, so even though a lot of white people may do this, but it's not proper for me to go forge this big old resume because I know that I'm black and I know that I'm a woman. I mean, sometimes, you know, even though it's sad, you have to overcome. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So how you think that he should have come across being a
I
potential
think
elected official?
I think he should. First of all, I don't think he should got. I think he got married just for a cover up, so people can
Why
look
do you say that? I
because
think
if
I
he's into
disagree.
it,
I
and like
think
I say,
you
this
think
is
so?
just my opinion. If he's in the men, and apparently he is in the men, I mean, why would you?
But
If
remember he's a quote bisexual, so he loved. I think he really loved his wife too. I think remember he said I chose you, so he had feelings for both, but he chose his wife.
just because he chose her, don't mean that he chose her. I mean, I'm not saying he don't love. There's different kind of love, Stephanie. I'm not saying that he don't love her and he don't care for her and have feelings for her, but was she the one that because she was articulate, she had a good pedigree behind her? I mean, was she the one because that's what he needed, the look, to get him where he wanted to go?
That's a good thought. That's a
Well, I
good
mean,
thought.
we don't know, but I'm just
Yeah,
putting it out
that's
there.
just something to think about, though. It could be. It's just so many levels to this story. I'm telling you,
Now,
we can go on and on with this
yeah.
one because
Now
it's so many levels.
let's look a little bit about her because she was very impressive, but and
Oh, she was okay.
I really hate that she's kind of going through it, even though she really did put herself in it because if you marry
Well,
somebody who tell you that they bisexual,
so that's
I
what
mean,
I want to dive into. That's what I
yeah,
want to
they're
dive
gonna give
into.
you
We
a
need to
life.
dive into that. You saying
Yeah,
as a woman, I'm a heterosexual. My boyfriend or fiance, you gonna tell me that you're bisexual? I just don't think I would have married you.
well, I okay on her defense on that, and I'm not
Yeah,
defending her because I don't have no dog in that fight. But to me, I could kind of see that not because I think that was the smart and right thing to do, but because our generation view homosexual and bisexual and all of that a little different than these younger people. I mean, I see on TV, and that's on TV. They have men. I have seen a married couple that knew that the wife had a girlfriend, and he didn't mind the wife going with the girlfriend. I mean,
again,
it's
I see that, but I'm just saying for me, if
yeah, I
I was
know.
told, because I'm always in my mind, even though you trust that person, you're gonna be in your mind thinking, okay, he ain't stayed out too late. What's going on? He a bisexual? Is he with another
Yeah,
man? Or what's going on? I mean, I would be
exactly.
just racing with that all the time.
Well,
That's
I
too much
agree with that
heartache.
too. I agree with that too. But we mostly in the same
Yeah, that's true. I
age.
need a younger person.
Yeah, yeah. We mostly, and that's the only pass I'm giving her, just because she's younger. So I think too, she bought into the lie. That's why I don't excuse
How old
her
is he?
because I think they in their 40s, early 40s.
Okay, early
So she
40s.
bought into the lie too because there's a lot of women out here, and I'm not saying her motives because we all don't know her motives, but
That's
there are a
true.
lot of women out here that because they want the status too, they want the white picket fence too. They want to be the next Michelle Obama. They'll marry him. I mean, they like you say, if you have arrangement, that's your arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, she
But
could have
anyway,
said stay out of business.
yeah, but then too, you always know something is going to leak sooner or later.
Do you think
That's
they're
why
gonna
you
stay
don't.
together?
Well, yeah, because it's a lot of things. That's why you never go into a deception like this because it's harder to get out than tell the truth.
That's true.
That's an old fashioned saying, but it's so true. It's easier just to come. I mean, when you're caught, especially, just come out and tell the truth, and nobody can't say nothing because they already know. But when you tell a lie, you have to tell one after another, and then some more come out, and then your head is spinning. But I'm gonna show you a little bit about her. I'm gonna share a little bit about her.
Okay, that'll be good to know her background.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, you see it? Okay, let me make sure I got the right one. Yeah, this is her. Okay.
Okay.
Politics. We're carrying a lot of hopes and dreams for a lot of other folks. And we just want to do right by them,
as much as we can.
RJ, a working mother of 3, has learned to juggle life on the campaign trail, stumping for her husband of 9 years. Overwhelmed herself at times, realizing the impact of his aim to make history.
I look out into the audience and it's so diverse, all races, all ages. And there were multiple people in tears as he's speaking. And that was a sobering moment for me. I teased him afterwards. I said, it was like being at a Michael Jackson concert. And then he laughed.
Remaining jovial through adversity, she says, has pulled them through some painful times.
After going through years of tests, no one could tell us why we weren't able to have children, which it's very unsettling.
It's an issue not often spoke about publicly, but RJ wants to change that. Struggling with fertility for 4 years before they were finally able to have their twins, Caroline and Jackson, through in vitro fertilization.
Something like this really tests your faith. We were able to get pregnant and experience 4 miscarriages, 3 in 1 year. So that was a really, really tough experience.
Her youngest, Davis, she says, seemingly came along years later with ease. She keeps them in mind when making all decisions, including one that has already changed their lives.
We did have some conversations about, well, what do you think about governor? And I was pregnant at the time. We just found that out. So it was a fun conversation. I appreciated that he asked me, but I also knew that it wasn't really a question for me to say no to. I think that Andrew's destined to do what he's doing, and I would have never forgiven myself if I stood in the way of that.
Raised in Montgomery, Alabama, her mom a union organizer, RJ learned early on the value of perseverance.
Well, the interesting thing about going through the primary was that no one else, besides our supporters, of course, thought the outcome was going to be what it was, but we always did.
A win that led to life in the fast lane.
And when you get a phone call from President Bill Clinton and Secretary Hillary Clinton to your cell phone saying, we've been watching the race, we just want to congratulate you, and he gets off the phone and we both go, oh my God.
Former President Obama would later make a similar call to Gillum, pledging his support.
But I know he values a call from President Clinton the same as this little boy that has walked up to him wearing an Andrew Gillum t-shirt. Level of not wanting to let either of these people down, maybe even more so, the little boy.
At home, the couple has 2 boys and a daddy's girl.
Does he do dishes?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. I taught him early on how to do Caroline's hair, and she prefers that. If he's home, she'll say, I want daddy to do it. I think everyone else sees what I see. It's time for something different. And that politics has kind of drawn us all to our corners, and we know that we've got to kind of come together if we want to see some things change.
That was Keith.
Okay. So what do you think about that?
Oh boy.
Now, see, I think, like I say, she's a very articulate, nice lady.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Both of them are really ambitious. She even sound like it. So I think it was a deception. I think this is my personal opinion. I think the whole marriage was a deception, knowing that she knew he was bisexual. I think it was like because also they didn't say it on the tape, but they didn't date each other long before they got married.
Well, that's what I'm looking at, 9 years and
Yeah, but they didn't date each other long before they got married. So it's like, to me,
that's interesting.
It's like they made a pact, and I feel like we got enough politicians that's dishonest and just plain out lie, plain out lie. And I'm tired of that. And so to me, I feel like if you couldn't come truth with, if he's a nice guy and he do what he do and he was a leader like he was, I couldn't care if he was bisexual, trisexual, or whatever.
I don't understand, what was he supposed to say, Carolyn? Was he supposed to say
that he's gay or he's gay? I'm saying because when you're under the politician spotlight, it's not our business whether he gay. But people gonna ask you.
I'm surprised, and they're gonna look into every aspect.
That's what I'm saying.
Past. I'm just surprised that nothing else was in the past that they could find to allude to that fact.
Well, I think he just blew up so fast. At first, nobody was paying him no attention, and then, like she even said, they were surprised. I mean, he blew up like, you know,
Mhm.
like almost overnight. You know, so I think it would have came out eventually, but
Right.
overall, if I was him, I would have lived in my truth. I mean, if I'm gay, if I'm whatever, just like the other politician, you have to take it or leave it. If you know, if the world haven't accepted me and you're gonna knock me down just because of my sexual preference, then so be it. But I'm not gonna sit here and betray and jump through hoops and be somebody I'm not just
Mhm.
to get this job. I'm not gonna do it. You know,
Right.
that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I definitely
So
think she was very articulate. Sound very passionate about their love story of how they she had all the I think 4 miscarriages and then had in vitro and had the twins, and so she was very open up. But I kind of am alluding to you because she said it was like a Michael Jackson thing, the stardom. I'm
mhm,
kind of alluding what you're saying now after listening to what she said, and even what she said in the interview with Tamara Hall about, it
mhm.
felt good to be maybe the first lady of Florida and all that.
Yeah,
So yeah, some of the things
they
you're
would have
saying,
they would
yeah,
have been another Michelle and Barack, you know.
yeah, yeah,
And and Stephanie, I mean, I don't want to think this, and you know, it's just my opinion. Like I said, I don't want nobody in YouTube land the whole, because I know we feel sorry for people that you know, it's not nothing to be made fun of when somebody lose a baby or lose a child or can't have a child, but it's just so many unanswered questions. And she had 4 miscarriages.
yeah. Four
The
miscarriages
baby that she got was by
in
intra
vitro. Mm-hmm.
in vitro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the 4 babies she got was in vitro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Now I'm kind of wondering, did that have something to do with his bisexuality?
I knew you was gonna say that.
I mean, yeah, and
What do
I'm
you
saying,
mean?
you know, I'm just asking.
No, no. What does that have to do? She got pregnant. He was doing something.
She got pregnant by in vitro. She didn't
No,
get
no,
pregnant.
no. She got pregnant 4 times before in vitro. She had 4 miscarriages. Then they did the in vitro because she couldn't hold. She had to be implanted
I
with.
understand that. I understand that. And all I'm gonna say is she said she had 4 miscarriages.
Correct.
That's all I'm gonna say. Now I'm gonna leave that where it
Oh,
stay.
okay. All right. We're gonna leave it right there.
Because to me, when
Woo!
you tell one lie, I ain't putting nothing past you. So all I'm saying,
Woo! Okay.
I mean, I'm saying that's what she said. So we're gonna take that.
We're
But
gonna take it.
yeah, we're gonna take it. But yeah, so I was just saying that I just feel like they both should have lived in their truth. And even she's saying that, you know, when she told Tamber that if she had known it would have came out, she wouldn't have never. So in other words, you know you living a lie. You know you living a lie.
Well, that's why I say, and then another thing, do you remember in the conversation when she was it him or her that admitted that in 2019 they've had a rocky 2 years? What was all that about?
I don't know.
Maybe, just
I don't know. You know, every
the
couple
last 2 years.
every couple had problems, but
And that's what they said. And that's what they
about
said.
that? But I'm saying, was it about that? You know, because to me, I don't understand. And like I say, this goes back to, I know you say you haven't watched the tape about homosexuality and Christianity. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know enough about homosexuality because I'm not a homosexual. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what your yearning is, or you know, I don't know what your yearning is. I know if
Mm-hmm.
I see another lady butt naked, I don't have no bone in this body wants to go over there, you know. But if I was homosexual, if I'm living a lie with this man, and I really just like Niecy Nash, I don't know what was her thing, but
Woo! That's another story.
yeah,
That's
that's another
another.
story.
That's
But what
another
I'm saying
topic.
is,
Yeah.
but if I have this inside me and my hormones is going this way, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to this other one over here that's not turning me on. I mean, like I say, that's living a double life, in other
And
words.
that's what I said from the beginning. That is why I would not have married a man who told me, because I'm heterosexual, I'm like
Mhm.
you, and a
Mhm.
woman can't do anything for me but barely be my friend. That's it.
Mhm.
I have no
Mhm.
attraction. But if you tell me from the beginning that you have an interest both ways, that would concern me, because every time we have a little argument or spat, you're gonna be looking elsewhere or going elsewhere to get your, you know, you satisfied. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
It's
saying.
kind of scary, you know, in
Yeah.
this day and time. It's really scary.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And if you live in your life just on the
Yeah.
fact that nobody don't know, then that's a
Mhm.
problem right there. Especially if you want to be a leader of a country or a leader that's making decisions for everybody. Because I'm one of them people that believe a liar is a liar is a liar. I don't care how
And
big or small it is.
and I get
You,
what you're saying. Even though it's in the privacy of that bedroom for him to be that way, if he deceives you about that, what else would he deceive you about? Some other things. I got you.
yeah, and so that's
Mhm.
my take on it. So
Mhm.
anything you have to say other than that, we talked about it.
Yeah,
Overall, I wish them both the best. I
I
don't think,
do.
yeah, I think this may be the first time he got caught, but I don't think it's the first time. But you know, everybody do make mistakes.
Hmm.
I hate to say this, but
But
sometimes,
now he's come out. At least he came out. So he
yeah.
did come out.
Oh, I forgot this part at the beginning. This is
Uh-huh.
another thing I didn't appreciate because, like I say, I like to hold people feet to the fire, and if you did it, you just did it.
The
Um,
crying.
well, not only the crying, he comes out with his father used to drink alcohol. I mean, okay, there is a lot of people that had bad backgrounds and a lot of, but you know, he comes out with his father used to drink alcohol, and you know, he grew up seeing that every day, and then he started on this alcohol addiction, and you know, people just didn't know, and it was kind of like you blaming it on everything, but just say you did it. I mean, that's what I'm saying about coming out telling the truth. It, you know, whether he
Did he
got,
not say he was depressed about not winning the election? I think he
he
said
said
he
that
was.
too. Yeah.
And I think the depression and because his father has, you know, I think it's some association with that genetic gene of that too. Because I had an uncle who was a really bad alcoholic, and his father, I mean, was a bad alcoholic, but he did get recovery and rehab and didn't drink anymore. But I'm just saying though,
That's a good
but
success story, you know.
yeah, I think that he had that trigger, or I mean, that the depression with the election, him not winning, was a trigger for him, and that was all he needed. And then it was like,
Could
because
have been.
he even said that she had tried to tell him, you need to go get help. You need to go get help. She kept on telling him that, and he wouldn't listen.
Well, could have been, you know, could have been. But you think about this: if you can't take losing a election and you're not even going out for president, I mean, what kind of you talking about getting in the office that you climbing up, making decisions for a hundred a million people? I mean, there's pressure. Even
Yeah,
Donald
that's
Trump
true.
got pressure
That's
for,
another way to look at it. You're right.
yeah.
We have pressure on
So
our jobs. You can't, commit
yeah,
suicide
so
because of pressure. Yeah.
yeah, so all of that, you know, hey, I'm not feeling sorry for you for that. But like I say, to me, just say you sorry. You know, I am bisexual, whatever and just go on about your business. Sooner or later, people forget, and you know, just live your life, but just live your truth, though.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
know, just live your truth. That's all.
I don't think he thought he could live his truth. I think that was the only way he thought he could do to get up to get to his statue.
Mhm.
I don't think he
Yeah.
thought being truthful would make it that far. That's the far, uh
Mhm.
as advanced as he did with his career. I don't think he thought that he would make it if
Yeah.
he was open and honest.
And with the world we living in, I could see that because you know,
Hmm.
still we haven't came a long way
And
with homosexuality.
within
Uh,
our race, we haven't,
yeah, especially within our
Mhm.
race, and
Yeah.
definitely, you know, like I say, the politician that did come out. I mean, it took a lot of courage, and he probably had family members that backed him. It takes a lot to come out the closet.
It sure does. It sure does.
Happened. I don't know what happened to the
Yeah, I
internet,
think you
but
froze a little
anyway,
bit.
yeah, I think we both did on my end. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
it takes a lot of courage to
It
come out the
sure
closet
does.
and be who you are.
Hmm.
So, you know, I understand that. You know, I'm not excusing it, but I do understand.
Right.
So anyway, Stephanie, it was good coming to chat with me today. I'm
Thank
glad
you
you
for allowing me
came.
to come on your show. I feel honored.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you came, and it wasn't too bad to chat with me
Oh
tonight,
no,
right?
it was
Okay,
great. I really
okay,
enjoyed it.
okay. Well, I'm gonna say good night and stuff, and hopefully next
Okay.
week bring a little sunshine because with all this stuff going on, it seems like it's just stress coming from everywhere.
I
I'm
know.
in the house working and I'm in the house doing everything because of pandemic, and I'm still feeling like the walls are closing in on me.
I understand. I know.
So
And that's what we're telling all. Well, I have been telling people is that check on your loved ones because
yeah.
and friends because with this time being with the COVID-19, a lot of people are very depressed. They're in the house. And it's a lot of things when you are quiet like that, nothing going
Hmm.
on. Mine is a battlefield sometimes. You have to be very careful because people
I agree. I
will
agree.
commit suicide and it's just a lot. Check on your loved ones and
Yeah, and
friends.
sometimes people, this is another thing why I like to do these shows and get to the bottom of stuff because sometimes people think they the only one going through it. And then
Oh no, yeah.
it's a lot of people going through it, but people just don't
Absolutely.
talk. People just don't talk these
Just
days.
don't talk. Mhm.
They want to say the politically correct thing. It's not right to say this and it's not right to say that, but it's real life.
Right.
And also, people got a habit of, because they haven't called me, I called you last time. That's silly.
I
You
know.
know,
Isn't that silly though?
yeah, you don't know what people are going through.
Yeah, you
They
don't
got their
know.
own life that they're going through something. And sometimes people are so weak mentally that they
Right.
can't reach out to
They
you.
can't
So,
reach out. So
yeah.
that's why we gotta check on them. Please check on
Mhm.
your family. Life is too short. Please.
Amen. Amen on that.
Mhm.
But anyway, I'm going to say good night. Tell your
Okay.
family I wish them well
Bye
and thanks for
bye.
coming on. Thanks for chatting with Cece. And
Okay.
like, subscribe, and share.